A very good morning to all our viewers, and what a day it is to begin this day. You've tuned in live to this broadcast on Money Control with me, Stacy Pereira. And what can we say? A billion hearts are waiting with bated breaths to get that ultimate glory that we are looking forward to, the ICC Men's World Cup finals that is going to take place between India and Australia today in Ahemdabad. And of course, we're going to be discussing the key players, what we really need to be looking forward to. And joining me to do that is K Shriniwas Rao, the group editor, sports at Network 18. Thanks so much, Srinivas, for your time and speaking to us on a day like today. Of course, there's so many hopes pinned on us keeping that cup back home here. So you're there in Ahmedabad. Just give us a feel of what really is happening there. What is the kind of excitement that you're picking up on? And of course, what's really riding in here for both the teams when it comes to India as well as Australia?
Yes, Stacy, thank you for having me. The frenzy is here. Looks pretty exciting. I arrived here in Ahmedabad. I came by train. I arrived here in Ahmedabad in the morning. And, when I started from Mumbai, I could see the frenzy building up. And by the time I reached Ahmedabad and I reached the hotel where I'm staying, the fever seemed to be, at an all-time high. And rightfully so, because, after 2011, there's been a hunger, like a desperation for India to win an ICC tournament. It's not happened for a while now. We've come so close, and it's been a case of coming so close and yet being so far. 2015 we lost in the semifinals. 2019 we lost in the semifinals. Were we a good team? Of course, we are a good team, but 2023 takes the cake because it is such a well-rounded side. I don't remember the last time India walked into a tournament as big as this one, with a side that was not just so well-rounded, but also a side that was teeming heart and confidence and form. I've said this in previously on our show. I truly believe that this is the finest attack that India has ever gone into a World Cup with. I can't think of
Right.
a better attack. 2011, we had cricketers who were multi-talented, who could bat exceptionally well, could roll their arm over. You had a lot of part-time bowlers. You don't have that luxury
Correct.
now. You're dependent on five full-time bowlers. But that said, you have very good five full-time bowlers. So all said and
Right.
done, India is the favorite against Australia for a change. I don't know how many times you're going to hear that. We have a strong, long history of losing to Australia. 2003 final in South Africa being the last time that the two teams met in a World Cup final. So, so many corners to be covered, so many places for India to level up. And now's the time, I'll say.
Right. In fact, I was just going to talk about that itself. Like India and Australia have played some really utter thrillers in the World Cup, especially. And if you have to see in this format, they faced each other about 13 times in the World Cup, and Australia won 8 of those, if you have to go by, if I'm not wrong. So, what all is riding here, and especially if you look at individual squads, then which are those key players for both the teams?
Yeah, I mean, the figure that you gave, 8 out of 13 in favor of Australia, I'm not surprised. They have been the kind of squad that we've always looked up to in so many ways. Australia between the late 90s and throughout the decade that went by, post turn of the century, they were the team to beat for any of us anywhere in the world. We all tried to emulate Australia. Every country playing cricket anywhere in the world tried to be Australia. And they had
Right.
set the global benchmark for where the game was always headed across formats, not just 50 over cricket. So by virtue of that, we're looking at a team that was earned a lot of respect. And no wonder that even though they don't happen to be in the best of form, coming into the final, you're always wary of a side like Australia. You always wary of a side like this that can bounce back. Imagine the start of the tournament, they were number 10 in the list. From there to come to the final shows a lot about their grit and a lot about their determination. So yeah, and you asked me about the sides. Well, let me talk about India first. Well, actually, both the sides. I don't see either of them walking with any change in the 11. Coming to India, I sincerely hope Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma do not consider any change. Yesterday there
Mm,
was a lot of buzz about Ravichandran Ashwin out there in the nets,
right.
batting, participating very actively. And I hope it's just that it sticks to the nets and doesn't come out on the field where playing 11, today's playing 11 is concerned. I would like India to go with the same set of three fast bowlers and two spinners, Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja. Mohammad Shami knows this wicket very well because it's his IPL home ground, Ahmedabad, for Gujarat Titans. Now, that
Right.
said, he's been in the form of his life. Up to me, he's easily the player of the tournament. So this attack is auguring really well. I don't think we need to get into the rut of playing an all-rounder for the sake of it. In many ways, Hardik got injured. Until Hardik was available, we couldn't think beyond him. But when Hardik got
Right.
injured, what it allowed us to do is it allowed us to bench Shardul Thakur. And I had always been saying that Shardul Thakur never found a place in the 11. So Hardik being benched actually forced the way for Shardul to sit out. And that's how you could get in a Shami and Surya at the expense of both. And I think that's worked beautifully so far, particularly Shami. And that's all that we need to continue with. And I just hope one last time our top order comes as good as it has throughout the tournament. And that's about it. We're there.
Right. What about from Australia? Pat Cummins is somebody who's always been looked at for that strict captaincy. So, are we going to see anything different in their score, or what are their highlights
I
we're looking at?
Honestly, I don't see a change in Australia's 11. Also, what has happened so far has worked beautifully for them. And I don't see any reason why Pat Cummins should come in. They don't have the luxury of bringing in an extra spinner, so they
Mm.
are stuck with Zampa and Glenn Maxwell doing bulk of picking up bulk of that responsibility. And I really don't see them kind of interfering with that either. I was just talking to someone about Pat Cummins looking at the wicket. Yesterday, he was seen taking pictures of the wicket there. He said that he can find a couple of spots, rough spots on the wicket, which is his way of saying that probably the wicket is not fresh, maybe used or whatever. But it doesn't really mean anything because both sides at the end of the day have to play on the same wicket. It's not like India is going to play on one wicket and Australia is going to play on another. So whoever wins the toss, kind of also will not make a difference actually at this venue. What's going to make a difference at this venue is playing in front of 1 lakh plus people. That noise, that roar, you've got to digest that and you've got to like handle that when you walk out of the field. Doesn't matter whether you're batting or bowling first. So that's the pressure
Right.
that you've got to face with, and that's the home advantage that India has. 1 lakh plus people cheering for India. That's a huge home advantage to have.
Right. In fact, Pat Cummins is not taking that very lightly in his comments. Yesterday, he pretty much spoke about that only, about how they don't really need to be called underdogs as such, but they're looking forward to the crowd, and having the crowd silenced is something that he's looking forward to. So, pretty confident, I would say, from both the captains. But let's shift focus to Rohit Sharma and what he has been able to achieve right through this tournament, from somebody who was not selected in the 2011 one to now taking this team here right to the finals. How has this really positioned him as a player, and what does this mean for Rohit Sharma?
All right, a quick word about Pat and Australians here. Well, they know how to use their words. They know how to get chirping. They've been chirping all along ever since they've landed in Ahmedabad, and that's one way of them saying that yeah, they are feeling the pressure. So then be it. Rohit, on the other hand, what do I say about Rohit? Knight in India's shining armor. The guy has been exceptional in everything that he's done, leading India from the front. He's got his teams back. And I think that's been a wonderful, wonderful journey for the guy. I really want to like kind of believe in karma if Rohit like ends up lifting the trophy tonight. This guy has been waiting for this moment for ever since 2011. When he missed out on that World Cup in Mumbai, this World Cup final in Mumbai. He sat in the stands, watched that World Cup, told himself he will do something to change that. He came for close to it in 2015, didn't happen. Came close to it, brought India close to it in 2019 again, didn't happen. 23 gets to the captaincy. Well, it's his moment. He said that the day he took over the captaincy, from that day onwards, the team has been preparing for this moment. And I appreciate how he's kept his emotions in control. I appreciate how he wants to put his head down and go to work. And he knows that the job is not over. India has been steamrolling everyone else. Like, they've been in red hot form, winning 10 out of 10 matches so far to reach here. They know it very well. They know it more than anyone else that should they not win tonight, none of those 10 matches and none of those 10 wins are going to matter. So today is where it all equalizes, and today is where they've got to put their best foot forward once again. And so be it. I really hope Rohit can pull it off. I'm really happy for him, though, as a captain, as a leader, as an individual. What Rohit Sharma has achieved, I'm truly happy for him.
Right. What about particular clashes that you're looking forward to, or also scores or wickets? What are you really and from whom are you really looking forward to in today's game?
Without getting into player versus player clashes. See, I mean, at the end of the day, let's take the match against Australia in Chennai, for example. We were 2 for 3 early on in the tournament. What wrong did we do? We did not respect Mitchell Starc. Early on in the innings, the ball had pace, it was swinging slightly, and we did not respect that. So I would say that it's not about a clash, but it's about when you walk out there, you just take your time to settle down against the ball like Starc. If you remember, again, taking a leaf out of the win in Chennai, the first 6, 7 overs, once they were over, they got over. It was so easy to bat out there, and India successfully changed their target. It was not a huge target, but still, India managed to change it with a lot of ease. So that says a lot of things about how you got to just go out there, set your eyesight first, get to see what the ball is doing, what the bowler is doing, just get a feel of it, and then of course we have the batting attack to pull it off. I don't think we need to change anything about the way we've been going about where our batting is concerned. Rohit obviously is batting beautifully, can afford to take risks. Shubman, in the semi-finals, if not for the cramps, he was another guy who would have reached his century. Virat Kohli, much has been talked about his strike rate and everything. I don't believe so. I think you require your best batter to be out there and be a glue to the openers in number 4 and number 5. He's been that glue. He's been holding this top order together, and I think he continues playing in that role. And then, of course, you have 4 and 5 who are batting very freely. Shreyas Iyer came up with a wonderful century in Wankhede, which allowed him to hit top form. And I think KL also has been great touch.
Right. Uh, I think I'm going to have to leave it at that, but I want your last take because I read somewhere saying that, we are getting into the tournament favorites versus the ones that tend to win the tournament. Is this a right saying of how we're going to be looking at today's match?
I know that's history, and I know that's the past. That's how things have happened at most times when Australia has made it to the final. That said, when was the last time you saw India going into a tournament with this kind of form? So that I would like to believe signals everything in favor of India. I'm not a believer, and things change. Things change. And things always change for the better. And considering the way India has played, I mean, this is their moment. I don't see any reason why I should not strongly and blindly believe that India walk in as firm favorites to win this final match.
Right. So let's leave it at that then. Well, it is a billion hopes pinned on this. Keeping the cup home is what we're really focused on. But at the end of the day, let the best team and players win is well, like we say. Thanks so much, K Shriniwas Rao, for giving us your time and speaking us through this tournament. In fact, we started this series with the India-Australia match, which was the first match. It's nice to see that we're ending this tournament also with this grand finale that we have to look forward to. So, well, we will cheer for both the teams. We'll let the best team win. To all our viewers who've tuned in, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you, Stacy. Bye bye.